summer, bestie book, bestie TV show, bestie binge. What do you got? You got a bestie book recommendation, Sacks? You got a bestie?
Yeah, my recommendation is gonna be a little different.
Bestie binge?
I've been subscribing to a lot of newsletters on Substack,
Yeah.
and I found that to be pretty interesting. And like I mentioned, two of my favorite writers, especially around politics and election time, Andrew Sullivan and Matt Taibbi. So check
So
them
your
out.
Overton window's open enough to get to those two who are super polarized, and they actually kicked Andrew Sullivan out of New York Magazine for making other writers at New York Magazine feel unsafe with his words.
All my favorite writers seem to have been canceled at some previous publication, and now they've set themselves up on Substack. So
it is amazing how the Overton window has closed. Bestie C, do you have a bestie binge, a bestie book, or a bestie newsletter, or a bestie podcast you want to share with the besties?
I would give a shout out to a book called Americana, which is about it's a history of American capitalism told in chapters for every, call it 5 to 7 or 10 year or decade period. It's really interesting for people into business. It's written by a guy named Booz Srinivasan.
Okay. Bestie Friedberg, what do you got, bestie queen of quinoa?
I took a week off and hung out at the beach, and I binge watched Godfather 1, 2, and 3, as I've done several times in my past. I also watched one of my favorite top 5 films of all time, There Will Be Blood by Paul Thomas Anderson.
Such a good film. That opening scene is just crazy.
Every scene. It's just such a beautiful film.
I drink your
milkshake. It got me down this research path on the Standard Oil Company, and I ended up first off, I ended up reading Mario Puzo's Godfather, which is very graphic and interesting. But if you've seen the movie, I don't think you get much more from the book. But then I started reading Ron Chernow's biography of Rockefeller.
Yeah,
and so incredible. I don't know if anyone's made it through that 727-page tome.
I got about 500 pages in. It is detailed.
It's detailed, so it's not. It's not probably. You won't gain as much from it as perhaps reading a Wikipedia article. But the Standard Oil, the era. If you think about what technology is, or what we call technology in the U.S. today, in our world, and it's mostly software and now increasingly biotech. There have been different eras of technology and different eras of monopoly, and just hearing the story of the railroads and Standard Oil and what took place in this country, it's incredible, and it's so analogous to what's gone on, and the outrage and the dissent and the fake news that goes on about these people as they've been successful. It really is. History teaches us everything, and it's so I've just I just in the era of Standard Oil, just learning about. The stories of that time and the people of that time. This is one book that's been, an interesting part of the tale.
Besties, I got to go. I love you guys.
Love you too. I'll see you
Jason and Friedbergers, I'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah, stake it up. Let's go
love
outside. I'll just give on my closing, The Fish That Ate the Whale, a book about Sam Zamuri, who was the Banana King, and another interesting book you might like, I Love Capitalism by Ken Langone, who, built... He built Home Depot, and it's a pretty great story about both stories of capitalism. And I think you'll like them, Friedberg, if you like the books you were talking about. Yeah. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. And don't forget to rate and subscribe. And we'll be taping another episode in another 5, 6, 7, or 8 weeks, hopefully earlier than that. Take care, Sacks. Take care, Friedberg. Take care, Chamath. And we'll see you all next time on the All In Podcast.